there everyone, and welcome to another Supple Strength video. I hope you're all well and healthy and fit, enjoying the sun. Maybe you've gotten out into a pub garden for a cheeky pint or gin and tonic, maybe. Anyway, I hope you're all well. Here's another video. Can't believe that the month has rolled around so quickly already, and it seems like yesterday that I did the last programme. But still, roll on summer, I don't mind. So I've got a nice new programme for you. It's quite stretchy. Apologies for last month, it was really quite tough on the arms and the wrists, wasn't it? So hopefully you're able to break it down if you needed to. Hopefully those that like a challenge, like something stronger, that you are able to really get your teeth into it and use it to your advantage. So this month, not quite, so I've dialed down on the arm stuff a little bit. Normally we have a separate balance in between some yoga or Pilates. This time I've built it into a long sequence, so your balance will be halfway in between the long sequence. So I hope you like that. It's nice and stretchy, quite strong, but I'm sure you'll like it. And one new move when we get to it, it's just a slight variation on a Pilates move. You'll recognise it when we get there. So you'll need your ball, your band, and probably your weights. The weights in one move, break it down. The weights in another move, build it up for you. So when we get to those moves, I'll instruct you accordingly, and then you'll know for the second time whether you need your weights or not. Each week, remember, or each time you do the program, remember to change sides. Don't always start with the right. I'm going to teach with the right today, leading. You need to alternate it each time you do the class to make sure your body works equally, so you don't end up with any imbalances from left to right side of the body. Okay, so I think we'll get started. Heels directly underneath the hip bones, lengthen the legs, soften the knees, set the pelvis upright on top of the thigh bones, pubic bone and hip bones, level as you look down. Make sure there's a nice straight line through into the hip flexors, straight line up into the glutes with the hamstrings. So there's a natural curve to the lower back, as opposed to an arched back where there's a tilt here and a stretch in the hamstrings, and the opposite where you're stretched over here and tight in the hamstrings. You don't want either of those, you want to be in neutral. When we're lying down, of course, if you want to go in front, if you want to go flatter, if you tend to be quite arched naturally, feel free to go a little flatter. If I'm saying neutral and you feel you want to press down a little bit more to flatten and stretch that back out, please do so. What you mustn't do, of course, is arch, unless the yoga move, for instance, instructs or invites you to arch if you want to. So core muscles are switched on, lengthen through the neck. Let's get a sense of balance first of all. Shift your weight to run the soles of the feet forwards and back, top a little bit. Allow your brain to switch on, connect with the whole body, switch on all of the stabilising muscles so your body's all prepared for the hour to come. Breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth then. Place your hands on the bottom edge of your ribs. Feel your ribs expand as you breathe in. Close the eyes. Feel your chest expand as you breathe in, melt down as you breathe out. The hands are there just for something tangible. Actively feel the air coming into the body and then being released out. Release the hands as and when you want to. Still feel that chest opening out as you breathe in, melting down as you breathe out. Lengthen through the back of the neck, keep the shoulders broad, and just allow this moment to calm your mind, close out any distractions around you, bring your focus to within your own body. Still sense that your shoulders are broad, core muscles are switched on, pelvic floor zipped up, that magical third of the way in, or 30% contraction. Check the knees have not locked out. Sense your weight is melting evenly into the floor beneath you. Let's stretch through the neck then. Drop the chin to the chest, roll the head from side to side. Gently stretching out through the back and the sides of the neck. We'll drop the chin down to the chest, bring the eyes forwards, give the shoulders a little wiggle, backwards and forwards. And bend the knees, circle the feet. We're going to start with monkey swings to warm us up. So your feet need to be just a fraction wider. When we bend the knees and drop down, make sure the knees don't collapse. Send those knees forward. Feel the power in the thighs and the glutes and press those heels down into the floor. Core muscles are switched on. So breathe in to lift the arms up. Breathe out, bend the knees. Drop your bottoms, swing back and forth. Breathe in to lift up. Brushing the fingers to the floor if you can. Drive the feet into the floor. Feel the thighs, feel your glutes working. Core muscles switched on. Nice big breaths. Blow the cobwebs away. Try not to arch when you come up. Just lift the arms up. We'll do one more. Release the arms to your sides and then just twist the upper body for body swings. Loosen out through the middle. Bring your breathing back to normal. And release. So we're going to go straight into that long routine I mentioned. You need to be at the back of your mat. If you are side on like I am, left hip facing the camera. Heels underneath the hips then. Core muscles are switched on. We're going to start with a few roll downs just to prepare that spine. So breathe in at the top. Exhale, drop the chin to the chest, drop the arms and shoulders. Slowly drop yourself down, keep the tummy scooped. Hands falling towards the floor, top of the head falling towards the floor as well. Just stretch through that spine. Stretching out down through the back of the legs as well. If you can't reach the floor, don't worry, just go over as far as you can. If the back of the legs are too tight, soften the knees. Let's restack. Keep core muscles scooped. Slowly rebuild the spine, one vertebrae at a time. Feel that spine rebuild. Let the shoulders melt, head comes up last. Breathe in at the top. Exhale, chin to chest. Drop the arms forward, keep the tummy scooped. Hands fall to the floor again. Aim to stretch over a little bit further. Sense the space in between each vertebrae. Opening out, stretching. Let's rebuild. Remember, when you rebuild the spine, keep it loose. One section of the spine on top of the next, but don't push them down, just float them into place. Shoulders melting, head up last. Breathe in at the top. Exhale, same again. Still preparing that spine, still preparing the mind even with this move. Allowing the brain to connect with the spine. See in your mind's eye the space, the length, the stretch. And rebuild. Keep it smooth and slow. Keep those arms relaxed. Chin on your chest. All the way up to the top. Let the shoulders melt, head up last. Breathe in at the top. Exhale, chin to chest. Drop the arms and shoulders. We're going to add on this time. So keep the tummy scooped up, pelvic floor zipped. Hands and then knees come down to the floor. We're going to turn to the left on our knees and stretch our right leg out. Gate pose, little stretch through the hips. Slide that right hand down the leg up and over with the left arm. Keep that shoulder away from the end. Just relax and drop the hand. You don't have to reach. You do need to make sure that shoulder stays away from the ear though. Nice long stretch. See if you can lift that rib cage up any more, just to open up the gap between ribs and hips on that left side. Use your core muscles, bring yourself back. Bring that right leg back briefly. We're going to turn back to the right. Right leg comes forward. Lunge twist. So left hand to the floor. You're going to twist away from the screen. You all know this move very well. So fingers up to the sky, or you can drop your hand behind your back, forcing that twist. And for those that want to, of course, you can take the knee off the floor behind you if you want to. Shoulders away from the ears. Keep that right foot planted into the floor and the knee pointing forwards. Gently coming back down then. We're going to do cat and cow just to stretch out that spine. Breathe in to lift up. Draw the tummy in, lift the middle of the back up to the ceiling. As you breathe out, reverse. Drop the belly. Stick your bottom and chin out. Breathe in, lift up.
Suck in the tummy. Stretch and lengthen that spine. Breathe out, drop down and reverse. We're going to step one, then the other foot forwards now. So one foot forwards, other foot forwards, bottom in the air. Check the feet are hip distance apart. Drop your head, hang upside down. If you need to bring yourself up to rest your hands on your legs, then do so. If you're able to hang from those hips with straight legs, then please do so. In a moment, we're going to come back up to standing and straight into chair. So make sure those feet are hip distance apart. If you struggle with your knees, and bring your feet and knees together. So first of all, drop your bottom, bend the knees, look forwards as much as you can. You're going to push through the leg strength, remember? So breathe in, push down with the feet, lift up with the arms, clasp your hands together, sit your bottom back into chair. So bottom goes behind those heels. You should be able to tap your toes and all of your weight is sitting back, as if you were hovering over a seat behind you. Now you might find it's too much with the arms lifted. To roll those shoulders back into the right position, you can put your hands to your hips. Make sure your back isn't too arched. You've got to tuck your bottom under, but core muscles in. We're going to go into a balance next. You can either keep your hands where mine are, above your head, or you can keep your hands on your hips for this balance. So as you next breathe out, push down with the feet, up with the arms, shift to the right, stretch your left leg behind you. We're going to go into warrior three. Now you need a straight line from fingertips to toes, or crown to toes if you've got your hands on your hips, of course. If you feel able, if you are settled, allow the body to tip forwards and the leg to lift behind you. Keep the shoulders away from the ears. Keep breathing. Keep staring. Straight line, remember you don't have to come horizontal. You do need to think about squeezing your bottom to keep that leg lifted though. And from here, we're going to stride back to warrior two. So stride back. Take your left foot to the back of the mat as far as you can. You're going to turn to face the long edge of your mat. Wriggle those feet a little further out. With the right knee bent, right knee and toes facing the short edge. Bottom clenched, hips open. Left toes with the hips and shoulders facing the long edge of the mat. Arms out at shoulder height. Press on the outside of that right foot. Stare to the right when you're done. But every now and then, send a mental camera all the way down your body. Check the knee, check the foot, check the hips, check the back, check the core, check the shoulders, check the arms, check your gaze, check your breathing. Sink down, settle out a little bit more if you feel that you might be able to add. Next we have a triangle. All you need to do, straighten that right leg, that's all. Then reach, right fingers over right toes, tilt, take the hand to the shin, left fingers up to the skies, or drop the hand behind your back to make sure that top shoulder is pressed back. If you're stronger, you can turn the back of the hand to the inside of that leg. Pin the shoulders back, core muscles in. Imagine you're sandwiched in between two brick walls. You're either looking forwards or you're looking up. Avoid looking down. That'll promote your body to pitch forward slightly, and we don't want that to happen. So keep breathing, pin those shoulders back, and breathe. Sun warrior is next. Drop the arm, bend the right knee, push into it, reach back as if you were going to drop something light onto your left foot. Shoulder away from the ear, relax that top hand. Right knee, press it forwards. Can you give it some more? Keep breathing. Find the strength in the core muscles. Downward facing dog is next. So use your core muscles to bring you up and gently take yourself down to the floor. Use your knees, of course, to help out with that transition, and plant the hands into the floor, curl the toes under, bottom up. Ease the heels down. Remember, we're still warming up, so walk those heels up and down if you want to. tease a bit more length and warmth into those muscles. Remember, the aim of downward facing dog is to try and get your chest closer and closer to the toes. Of course, they're not going to actually reach, but that's where you're aiming, to flatten out across the rib cage. Keep those shoulders broad, of course. We're trying to lengthen the torso as well as lengthen the legs. Breathe in to prepare, breathe out to add on to that stretch if at all you can. Melting the knees down then. So we need to do the other side. So those that are not side on, you're simply going to push back and roll yourself up. Those that are side on, like me, you need to turn around. So from your all fours, curl the toes under, walk the hands back to the knees, everyone. Lift your knees and bottom up, heels down, chin to chest, relax the upper body. Scooping up the tummy, slowly rebuild. Make sure that spine floats back up to tall. Shoulders melt, head up last. Breathe in at the top. Exhale, chin to chest. Collapse the arms and shoulders forwards. Relax those arms. Stretch the spine once again. Coming all the way to the floor onto hands and knees, ready for the gate pose. So everyone turn to your right. Stretch the right foot, stretch the left foot out. You are turning to your right, you're stretching your left foot out. Slide the left hand down, up and over with the right arm. Shoulder away from the ear, relax the hand. Can you lift up? Can you stretch through that side of the body anymore? Use your core muscles to bring yourself back. Bring that left leg back for a moment and turn back to the left. Left foot forwards, lunge twist. Knee down, knee up, you decide. Right hand down, left hand up. Again, you're twisting away from the screen, but I'm confident in the knowledge that you all know this move very well. You know you need to keep your bottom as low as possible. That top arm can drop back behind your back if you struggle through the neck and shoulder. Otherwise, left foot flat, knee and toes pointing forwards. Breathe and feel that stretch. Cat and cow is next. Drop the hand and knee. Take the left foot back. Breathe in, lift up. Breathe out, drop down. Reverse. Stretch the tummy muscles. Let them go. Allow the back to tighten. Breathe in, lift up. Tighten the tummy, stretch the spine. And breathe out, drop down. Chair is next, but we need to lift the bottom high first. So step one foot, then the other foot forwards. Bottom high, check your feet at hip distance. Think about your knees for chair. You might feel the need to bring those feet and knees together if your knees struggle with the chair. But for the moment, we're stretching the hamstrings. Of course, to straighten the legs, you might need to lift up slightly, in which case rest your weight on your thighs, make sure your core muscles are supporting. Otherwise, relax the arms. Okay, let's bend the knees, drop your bottom, eyes look forward. Engage those leg and core muscles. Breathe in to push down with the feet, lift up with the arms, clasp the hands, sit back into chair. Bottom goes behind the heels, tap those toes, don't let your knees waver. Hands can go to your hips if you prefer. Core muscles in, feel those thighs work. Make sure your back is nice and straight. Warrior 3 on the left leg is next. So as you next breathe out, push down with the feet, shift your weight over. Bottom clenched, right leg lifts behind you. For those who are settled, confidence with your balance, tip, leg lifts, body drops slightly. Keep everything in line, fingertips or crown of the head to the toes. Maybe you can have your hands to your hips or out to the side for this. Remember to breathe. Remember Remember to focus those eyes. Warrior 2 is next. Stride as best as you can to the back of the mat. Release the arms. Turning to face the long edge of the mat. Hips and shoulders and right toes. Left knee facing the short edge. Bottom tucked under. Squeeze those butt cheeks. Core muscles are in, of course. Pelvic floor zipped up. Sink your bottom down towards the floor as you open through the legs. And then look to the left. You need to check everything, don't you? Especially that left knee. It'll be inclined to collapse inwards. So press on the outside of the foot. Squeeze your bottom. Keep that knee in line to keep the hips open. Can you sink and spread out a little bit more? Triangle is next. Simply straighten the left leg. Left fingers reach over left toes. Tilt. Hand to the shin. Right fingers up to the skies. Or drop the hand behind your back, of course. Stronger ones, back of the hand to the inside of the neck. Pin the shoulders back as if there was a brick wall behind you. Don't feel inclined to topple forwards at all. Toes grip the floor, the legs are activated, core muscles in. Everything's working nice and hard. Sun warrior, drop the arm, bend the left knee, push into the foot and reach back. Right hand to right leg, left arm curls, relax the hand. And keep the shoulder away from the ear. Left knee, press. Challenge. Core muscles in, and breathe. Downward facing dog is next. Use your core muscles, bring yourself up, gently bring yourself down to the floor, using your knees of course. Spread your palms into the floor, curl the toes under, lift the bottom up. Bottom up, heels down, press, lengthen, stretch and open. Use your breathing to help your stretch, help you to extend and add on. Feel the shoulder joint open out and stretch. Feel the torso lengthen. Waist gets smaller as your spine gets longer. Those heels inch a little closer to the floor. Okay, then we'll melt the knees down to the floor, push your bottom back to your heels and have a rest. Hopefully you're feeling nice and flexible now, nicely warmed up. We can go into lying on the floor. We've got the basic lift and reverse. So, lying yourself down on your back, head on a pillow if you wish. Knees bent, feet on the floor. The guidelines for the pillow, by the way, I've never gone through this. If you find when you place your head on the floor that your chin is naturally pointing up to the ceiling, it means you need some kind of a pillow to lengthen through the back of the neck. Only a small one. I use quite a big one because I need to see the screen. Well, I suppose I don't with the YouTube class because I don't need to see you because I can't see you. But I can in the other classes, obviously. So I always use this large cushion. You just want to make sure that your chin isn't pointing up to the ceiling because that means the back of the neck is all crunched up and you want to keep that nice and long. So, back to the move. Heels in line with your hips, knees and toes pointing forwards. Make sure there's a gap between the knee and the thigh, the shin and the thigh, I should say, the calf and the thigh. Make sure your feet always come back to the same spot. Your pelvis is in neutral, core muscles are switched on. Remember, if you want to work a little flatter, that's absolutely fine. So breathe in to prepare. As you breathe out, gently float the first foot off the floor, hover the knee above the hip. Breathe in, melt back to that starting spot. Breathe out, float the other leg. Same position. You all know this move.
You need to make sure the feet go back to exactly the same spot each time. You need to make sure that the pelvis stays still, so fingertips on top of hip bones possibly. As the legs swap over, make sure that the pelvis doesn't move. Keep the feet light on the floor, keep that tension building up underneath your belly button. You should feel the power of the core holding the pelvis still. Shoulders should be relaxed, back of the neck nice and long. So if you don't need the guiding fingertips, you can rest the back of the hands on the floor, slightly harder, arms over the chest. So if you can keep the pelvis still, you guys can go into the two legs. If you can't, you must stay at single legs. To go into two legs, you breathe out to float one leg, breathe in, prepare, breathe out, float the other leg. There shouldn't have been a reaction or a jump or a pulse as you took the second foot off the floor. You breathe in to take the first foot back to that spot, and the second leg. You breathe out to float the second leg first this time. Breathe in, prepare, breathe out to float the other leg. But again, as you see, no reaction, running through the body, perfectly still, no jolt, no little as the second foot comes off the floor. It should be smooth, core muscles holding everything in place. So with the single or the double leg version, you can make things more difficult. You can slow the move down. The slower you go, the harder it is. Equally, you can lengthen the legs. So set the feet on a mark on the floor further forwards. Make sure they come back to this spot each time. The feet will be higher in the air, the knees still above the hips, but the feet go back to that longer position and your back is still in neutral. The core muscles are still maintaining everything. Keep breathing. Out to float, in to prepare, out to float. Breathe in to go down and down. Next level up is the reverse basic lift. This is for the stronger ones only, of course. Knees start off bent. Back of the hands on the floor or arms across the chest. Remember that first mark on the floor? You breathe in, melt that foot to that mark. Tickle, breathe out, pick it back up. Simple as that. Other leg. So be careful you don't bend the knee and drop the foot to the floor close to the bottom. It's got to reach. And of course, as you all know, the further you reach forwards, as in the longer the legs, the harder the move will be. Check your back is still in neutral, tummy muscles are flat, shoulders are relaxed, back of the neck nice and long. I apologise for the phone ringing, that will stop in a moment. Okay, we'll make this one the last one. Melt the legs down to the floor and stretch long. We're going to go into the bridge next, so you need the ball, and the stronger ones, you'll need your weights, possibly. No pillow for the bridge as we're lifting the body off the floor. So heels underneath your bottom for this one. Pinch the ball with your knees. Make sure the knees don't go wider than the hips. Pelvis is in neutral, core muscles are switched on. Melt the hands on the floor. Use your move. Breathe in to prepare. As you breathe, squash your tummy muscles down, squash your back into the floor. Peel up, smoothly through the spine. Try not to grip your bottom. Lift from above. Tighten those tummy muscles to lift the spine up from above. Coming to a straight line. Ribs up to thighs. Breathe in, roll down. You all know the basic move. We're trying to flex the spine as much as possible. Create as much movement. Imagine a scorpion's tail curling back and up, and then uncurling as each section melts back into the floor. You return to neutral each and every time. Adding on then, to try and make the move more difficult, you can swing the arms around once you're lifted, with the aim of keeping the pelvis perfectly still in the middle. So stronger ones, you can pop your weights in your hands if you want to. The stronger you are with waving those arms from side to side, maybe you're going to go back and forth if you've got weights in your hands. Side to side will challenge your core to keep the pelvis steady in the middle. You would only do 4 or 5 seconds in the air, and then you would return down. Otherwise those legs will take over and you'll lose that connection with the core. It's a fine line. You don't want the legs and glutes to take over the move. Do the same again. Relocate core muscles. Try and switch those bottom muscles off. Then you start to wave the arms around. Keep the focus on the core, holding the pelvis in the middle. Zigzagging arms, swinging arms, whichever you feel. 4 or 5 seconds. Come down. There's that level. There's another level up. Or you can add your heels and balls of the feet, lifting up with the arms if you want to. So if you remember, I'll just go through those quickly. So heels off the floor, tilt back, peel up. Wave the arms around for 4 or 5 seconds if you want, and roll down. Then you can do the same with the balls of the feet off the floor. It's harder to peel with the balls of the feet up. Wave the arms around if you want to, 4 or 5 seconds. Melt down. And then you can mix those up, the heel of one foot, the ball of the other. Tilt back, peel up and down. And then of course you must do the other side. So the next level up for those that want to. You tilt back, peel up. Lock into place. Keep the left foot still. Can you hover the right and keep your pelvis level? You might need to use the arms a little bit, but that's okay. If you feel it's possible, straighten that leg. But the pelvis, that mustn't drop to that lifted side. You've got to keep it level, straight line, ribs through to knee. Do one foot, make sure that's put in the correct place on the floor. Try the other foot. You're likely to use your arms and your legs more with this level. That's absolutely fine. Just try and lock into the core before you come down. For those who are stronger still, like to use your arms, you can do that peeling up, leg lengthen, wave the arms if you want to. I'll put one more level for you though, if you want. Tilt back, peel up. No ball for this level, you've seen me take the ball away. Taking that one foot off the floor, lift and lower. Point to lift, flex to lower. Hips stay central. The foot needs to go lower than the hips for you to really engage through the core muscles to lift that straight leg up. You'll only do one leg, maybe 3, maybe 4 times. Connect with the core to roll back down. And then do the other side. Make sure that foot goes lower than the hips. So feel free to pause the video, do the level that suits you, use your core muscles, try not to squeeze those glutes too hard. If your bottom and left thigh muscles will want to take over. The whole idea of this move is to relocate, use those core muscles instead. So I'm going to move on. We're going to stretch long. And we're going to do the side kick. So you need to grab your ball for the side kick. Put your ball between your feet. I'm going to do the right side first, of course. You need to alternate right side, then next time left side. So the ball goes between the feet. Stretch yourselves out long. Make sure that hand doesn't grip the floor. Core muscles in. As you exhale, lengthen the legs. Hands should go on the thigh if you desperately need it for support in front. That's okay, because we're doing something with that ball. Take a mental look down your back. Do you feel possibly that your back has overtaken the move? You need to pull the pubic bone forward to lengthen out through that back as much as you can. You should just be able to see those feet if you look down. Then eyes on the horizon, core muscles are in. We're going to roll the ball very slowly and smoothly around in your feet. Now, as you concentrate on the ball, don't lose sight of what's happening in your back. Don't accidentally grip the floor with that bottom arm. Keep yourself long, stretched out, breathing, connected. Working those inner thighs. I don't want to see any knees on the floor. Keep breathing. Check that top arm's relaxed. Okay, last one. Melt down. Take a hold of the ball and just pop it out of the way for now. We're going to stay on this side. Prop our head up in our hands. We're going to do what's called the FFB. bottom leg is bent. Now this acts as your stabilizer. If you want to work harder, straighten the leg out a little bit. Want to keep it medium to easy, bend the leg. Top leg's doing all of the work. The rest of the body not allowed to move, especially that top shoulder. Okay, so core muscles in, hand in front for the moment to help stabilize you. Flex the foot. Press it forward twice. Point the toes. Press it back once. Don't let the shoulder drop forwards. And again, flex, flex, point, squeeze your bum. Forward, forward, back, forward, forward, back. Breathing, sniff, sniff, blow. Sniff, sniff, blow. Actively use your core muscles to bring forward. Actively use your bottom muscles to take that leg back. Stronger ones, if you feel your torso is perfectly stable, hand can go to the hip. You might be feeling this one all around that hip joint. Okay, last one. Bring the knee up in front, rest it up. Before we do the other side, we're going to do roll up, just the plain, good old-fashioned roll up. So coming to seated, legs can be bent or straightened out, completely your choice. One isn't easier than the other, it all depends on body type. If you're kind of person that you're all legs, then straighter legs is going to be easier for you. If you're a little bit more apple shaped, you're a bit bigger, shall we say, in the upper body and you've got nice little dinky legs, then you're going to perhaps find bent knees will be easier. So, shoulders drawn back, core muscles in. Drop those elbows. Try not to reach forward, you don't want to crunch into the front of the chest. Drop the elbows back. Breathe in at the top. Exhale. Collapse into your tailbone. Drop and sink. Curl under. Hollow out the tummy muscles. Now you're just going to go back as far as you can manage, keeping those heels on the floor. You don't have to go to the floor if it doesn't suit. If you can, flat back, lengthen the arms, don't let your back arch. Coming forwards. Try and lead with the forehead, not the fingers. You don't want to overreach. In life, the chest gets tightened, the back gets pulled. Enough. You want to equal out. Drop down, sink. Keep breathing, in through the nose and out through the mouth. Lowering down, slowly but surely. Only challenge yourself if you think it's possible. Flat back, lengthen the arms behind. Lead with the forehead. Keep the chin tucked under without pressing onto the chest. Imagine that spine stretching out, the tummy muscles hollowing out, pressing into the spine to press 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 vertebrae down into the floor. I know you've got more than 7 vertebrae, but that's as far as I got. As I said, you don't have to go to the floor if it doesn't suit. I'm going to do one more. Keep those shoulders broad, elbows dropped, bottom tucked under. Breathe. Keep the shoulders broad, elbows down, use your core muscles. Okay, so we're going to go to the left hand side now. Grab the ball. Ball between the feet. Lengthen out. Bottom tucked under, core muscles in. Arms stretched out, eyes on the horizon. As you exhale, lengthen and tighten the legs, allow them to float. Slowly roll the ball between your feet. Keep that core connection. Pubic bone pulling to the belly button. Core muscles tightened. Relax the top arm. Relax the bottom arm. Bring your
focus to your back. So feel stretched out, as straight as possible. Do you feel more of a challenge pulling forwards with the pubic bone? Ah, you're still breathing. Like me, have you nearly lost your ball? That's it. Okay, and melt down. Put that ball out of the way for the moment into the FFB, forward, forward, back. Remember that bottom leg, if you want to work a little harder, straighten it out a little bit. Top leg's going to do all of the work. Flex the foot, hand in front to start with. Core muscles in, check the torso stays still. So we're going to go forwards twice. Point the toes, send it back. Forward, forward, back. Forward, forward, back. Forward, forward, back. Sniff, sniff, blow. Sniff, sniff, blow. Core muscles in. If you find that your torso is perfectly stable, you can pop the hand to the hip, the slightly harder version. The top main thing is that top shoulder mustn't drop forwards. You mustn't let go of everything when that leg especially goes back. As I said before, use your core muscles, bring the leg forward, use your bottom muscles to press it back. 2 more. And we'll bring the knee up in front. Stretch out. So I'd like you to grab your band now. We're going to do the 100 with the band. This is only suitable for those who do 2 legs in the air. If you prefer just to do 1 leg in the air and swap over at 50, you're not going to use the band, it doesn't work. For the stronger ones, you can have straight legs, band around the feet. So I'll show you the 2 versions. Now the band does have to go above the knees. If it goes any lower, it's going to make the legs bounce around. So you don't want that to happen. So band above the knees. The stronger you are through the arms, the shorter you can have your band. So I tend to have mine fairly short. I can really feel it underneath those shoulder blades. Make sure the feet don't drop. You concentrate on so many other things, make sure those feet don't drop. Those who are stronger, by all means, you can do the lowering and lifting version if you want to. Holding the ends of the bands, lowering down each count of 10 till I get to 50, lifting back up each count of 10 till I get to 100, and the usual head and shoulders up or down is your choice. So I'm going to do head and shoulders up with the straight legs. You decide on the version that suits you. As I said, if you're going to do the 1 leg version, no band at all. You just do the usual version, sniffing, blowing, turning the palms up and down, each count of 5, with 1 leg swapping over when you get to 50. So, legs in position please, with the band in position if you need it. Those who want to curl up, back flat, tummy muscles drawn down. Getting ready to sniff in through the nose after 3, 2, 1. Sniff, 2, 3, 4, 5, blow. 2, 3, 4, 5. Sniff, 2, 4, 5, blow. 2, 3, 4, 20. Sniff, 2, 4, 5, blow. 2, 3, 4, 30. Keep those arms straight. Out, 2, 3, 4, 40. In, 2, 3, 4, 5. Out, 2, 3, 4, 50. Tummies flat. Out, 2, 3, 4, 60. In, 2, 3, 4, 5. Out, 2, 3, 4, 70. Lift those shoulders if that's your level. Out, 2, 3, 4, 80. In, 2, 4, 5. Out, 2, 3, 4, 90. In, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 5. 4, 3, 2 and 1. Hug the legs into the chest and take a little rest. Okay, you can pop the band to the side. We're going to do a variation now on the back extension. For those who prefer to stay at the lower levels, that's arms always resting on the floor, you're going to continue doing that. For those that lift up to the higher versions, adding on the arms or maybe the breaststroke, I've got some add-ons for you. So, lying on your front,
relax those legs. I'll start with the lowest version, that's arms relaxed on the floor, elbows out by your sides. Chin tucked under so the back of the neck is nice and long. Core muscles are switched on throughout the move. For this level alone, the legs stay relaxed. So, core muscles in, breathe in to prepare. As you breathe out, draw the shoulders down your back, tighten into the lower back and float the chest, relax those legs. Breathe in, melt back down. Breathe out, connect with those shoulders, draw the power into the lower back to force the chest to float. Try and switch those legs off, they will be inclined to tighten, twitch. Try and switch them off. Feet most definitely stay relaxed on the floor. So stay with that level if you feel that's appropriate for you. For those that want to work harder, we're going to do IT legs. So you make an I shape, you make a T shape, then you do your legs. So arms, fingertips reaching forwards. Connect into your lower back, float, keep those legs down. Take the arms out to the side, T shape, aeroplane if you like. Breathe out to float, legs relaxed. Relax the arms on the floor, engage through the lower back, lengthen and float the legs, do not bend the knees. Melt down, I, reach forward, shoulders braced, away from the ears, power in the lower back. Arms out to the T, float. Relax the arms, power in the lower back, lengthen and float the legs. And again, reaching forward, shoulders braced away from the ears, power in the lower back. T. Relax the arms, focus on the lower body. You're trying to teach your brain constantly to change the muscles that you're recruiting. Be specific with the muscles you're recruiting. Relax the arms, remember to do the legs. Then the eye. Shoulders well away from the ears, so don't lift the shoulders to those ears. Keep a nice big gap, even if that means you're bending the elbows, that's absolutely fine. I'm going to go through one more. And then we'll come up onto all fours and cat stretch. Tuck the bottom and chin under, lengthen through the spine, release the tension in the lower back. So we're going to go on to our knees now. Most of you are going to grab your band. Those with the neck and shoulder issues, you might prefer to use the weights. This is where the weights are going to dial down the move if you want. I'll go through the banded move first. So the band's going to go underneath the knees. Try and make sure that it's equal on both sides. So you've got an equal pull on both sides, obviously. Literally holding the end of the band. So the end of the band is next to your thumb. Shoulders down, core muscles in, squeeze your bottom a little bit. Breathe out to press tall. Shoulders stay down. Resist the ping on the way down. Use the muscles in both directions. Keep it smooth and slow. Tummy's locked in. Press up. Shoulders down, back of the neck is long. Keep it slow in both directions. I'll come back to the band in a second. Those who prefer to use your weights, if you find that's too much for the neck, round the world. Shoulders down away from the ears, turning in, elbows coming together. So you're going to do round the world if you prefer to use the weights. Everyone needs to make sure that the back stays straight. If you start to tire, do not press your chest forwards and arch into your back. You need to keep the belly button pulled in. As the hands press up, you start to get tired. Think about pulling the rib cage down, keeping that connection between ribs and pubic bone. So keep this vertical connection going down here. Don't let it open up, which will allow your back to arch. Keep that connection. Squeeze your bottom, press tall, slowly come back down. We'll do 2 more. And melt down. Give the shoulders a wiggle. Pop back that band to the side. You're going to swap it for the ball. Going onto our back, we're going to do the back cycle, supported with the ball. So no pillow. Lay yourself down, lift your bottom up, pop that ball underneath the bottom. Bring your feet back. Feel as if your heels are under the knees. They're still hip distance apart, of course. Hands on the floor, you might need those to start with. Now there's one single leg and there's a double leg version. So I'm going to go through the single leg with one leg and then invite you to do the other side whilst I instruct the 2 legs. Or of course you can pause and whiz on if you need to keep a hold of the instructions. So heels under the hips, core muscles are switched on. Bring your right knee into the chest. Keep the foot low for the moment. Going to just work with this leg. Breathe in to prepare. As you breathe out, send the leg forward, scrape the foot to the floor, straighten, squeeze the tummy, lift the leg slowly up. Breathe in to bend. Breathe out, slide forward, slowly lift and bend as you breathe in. So you're always breathing out as you slide forwards and lift, because that's the hardest part of the move. Core muscles drawing in to lift that straight leg up. Try not to speed on this section up. You don't want momentum to do the work instead of the core. So keep it smooth and slow, equal pace all the way around. To make it harder, lessen the arm support. Turn the palms up for the ceiling, maybe take the hands to the tummy, maybe even cross the arms over your chest. Breathe. Out to float. Breathe in to bend. Okay, so it's time to switch legs. So if you need the instructions, just whiz back and listen to those instructions again. Alternatively, 2 legs. Popping the hands back on the floor, bringing both legs in the air. Keep the heels low for now. So both legs have to work equally. So take the right leg back, left leg forwards. Imagine an open pair of scissors. They've got to come back to this point each time. So you're going to bend your right as you lift the left. Scrape the floor with the right. Open pair of scissors. Bend the left, lift the right. Scrape. Scissors. Bend the right, lift the left. Scrape. Bend the left, lift the right. Scrape. So they're both constantly working. I see a lot of people scooping one, pausing, scooping the other, pausing, scooping the other, pausing. No. The whole idea is the multitasking. Can you do 2 things at once? Can you keep the momentum out of the move, keep the movement fluid because you're choosing the correct muscles? And then again with this level, turn the palms up for the ceiling, hands on the tummy maybe, and for the bravest of the brave, cross the arms over the chest. Keep the chin tucked under, keep the core locked in, keep those legs doing the right thing, balance on that ball. Oh yeah, keep breathing too, in through the nose, and out through the mouth. Okay. So that means that those doing the single leg, you should have done equal amounts by now. I'll take that ball out of the way. Finished with that now. And this month I've saved the best till last. Yes, the plank. I can hear you groaning from here. So plank, you know what to do. I've taken it back, a bit like the bridge and the roll up, taking it back to basics. We're going to do plank and side plank. You do any version that you feel is suitable for you. Make sure you take on a challenge, push yourself a little bit, but make sure you keep within what's suitable for you. So elbows, knees, hands, toes, totally up to you. I'm gonna go through hands and toes to start with. I'll break it down, show you some of the other versions. So, hands directly underneath the shoulders. See a lot of people with their hands too far forward, which means this happens. Which means your shoulders and your back is doing everything. Tummy doesn't have to do anything much, okay? You must have the body weight over those hands, which I appreciate is difficult for some people if they have wrist issues. And then you can really feel the tummy muscles having to work to suspend the hips in place. And then over to the side, you just pivot slowly with a straight body. Fingers can go up, or rest your hands on the hip if you prefer. 4 seconds. Smoothly, without pushing your bottom up in the air. Pivot back onto the front, stay there. 4 seconds, feel the core. If you need to have a rest here before you do the other side, do so. Other side, again, keep the hips level. See a lot of people pushing the bottom up in the air for those transitions. Keep it low. Core muscles in. Back to the front. If you prefer to be on your knees, absolutely fine. Make sure you're in a plank, you're not in a table. That's the plank. Hips are sunken, straight line. And then the foot goes behind, straighten the top out. You're on the side of your knee. You're not on the top of the knee. Side of the knee. Straight line, shoulders through to knee. Again, 4 seconds. This can be done on the elbow if you prefer. Again, sloping line. Back of the neck is long, shoulders are broad. Foot behind, you're on the side of the knee. Core muscles in. I find that's painful on my knees, so I'm going to go back onto my hands and go through once more. Okay, push your bottom back to your heels and have a rest. We're going to stretch out now. We're going to do a little variation on the lunge twist. I've called it the lunge twist repeater. Again, we're going to be twisting away from the screen, but I'm confident enough to know that you know how to do this move well. So from all fours, we're going to bring right foot forwards. As always, knee up or down, you choose. We're going to twist and open and then come straight back down. So twist and open, stretch and twist, bring the hand back down. And again, repeat. Open, can you twist just that little bit further? Keep the hips low if the knee is in the air. The idea is to twist and unwind that waist. Open the shoulder as much as you can. We'll make this one the last one. Then we're going to go into pigeon, so knee down behind you. Fold that right foot. So your right hand is by the right knee. Right heel is by the left hip. Stretch that left leg out behind you. Melt yourself down to the floor. Relax your upper body. Allow the weight of the upper body to press into the lower body. And breathe. Excuse me. If you feel that it's more suitable for you to sink onto your right hip and bend that left leg, please do so. It's still the same stretch. It's just less intense. And then we're all going to sit up. Both legs over to the left, sitting on the right hip. Right hand to the floor, left hand to the sky. Push the hips forwards if you wish. Stretch out that left leg. Mini triangle. looking forwards or up. Core muscles in and breathe. Melting down, you're going to take the elbow to the floor, foot in hand, knee back, hips forwards. Nice long stretch through the quadricep. Let's sit up. Legs are comfy. I happen to be comfy, cross-legged. You might not be, so we just treat them accordingly. Sitting up, we're just going to stretch through the neck. So tilt the head from one side to the other. Dropping the chin to the chest, looking softly up at the ceiling. Taking the hands behind you, placing the fingers if you wish, bringing the arms up. Chin down to stretch through the chest. Reversing that, imagine there's something large and round in front of you. Sink into the lower back, open out across the rib cage. And then we're going to turn around to face the left hand side, so those side on. Right hip face the camera. Left foot comes forward. Lunge twist repeater. Knee up or down. That's always your choice. Right hand down, twist. Lift up through the left, open the chest. Come back down. And open again. Winding through the waist. Repeatedly to stretch. Maybe even stretching a little bit further than usual. Opening out the chest. That's the last one. Let's do pigeon. Melt back knee down. Then the left leg. Left knee to left hand, left heel to right hip. Stretch that right leg out behind you and relax. Elbows wide, hopefully forehead to the floor. Remember, you can sink onto your left hip and bend the right leg if you prefer. Sink onto the left hip now, bend that right leg. Left hand to the floor, right hand to the sky. Push the hips forwards, open out. You can straighten that right leg if you wish. Melting down, quadricep stretch. Heel to bottom, push the knee back and the hips forwards. And release. Similar to what we did at the beginning to stretch the hamstrings, we're going to come onto all fours. Walk the hands back to the knees, curl the toes under. Lift your knees and bottom up. Bottom is the highest. If you need to lift up a little to straighten the legs and hands to the shins or thighs, then fine. Otherwise, hang upside down. For those who are able to touch the floor, maybe you can fold the arms, hold your forearms. And then if it suits, might not be suitable if you're resting your weight on your thighs, but if it suits, swing the upper body from side to side just to loosen out. So it adds a little bit of weight into that hamstring stretch. Fold your knees back down to the floor, push your bottom back to your heels. And from here you can relax. You might want to relax on your front. Make sure the environment around you is suitable for relaxation. It's quiet, it's calm, it's peaceful. Focus on your breathing, opening the chest, allowing the air to flood through your veins. Reaching down to your fingertips and to your toes. Remember, to help you to relax, you can use the tightening of the muscles, and then release. It does help you to relax. It helps the brain to recognise between tensed and relaxed muscles. So give that a try maybe if you need help to relax. Make sure you're comfy,